Hey everyone, welcome back. So in today's video, I am going to be talking about the collaboration with Noopur and bellabeautebar Cosmetics. Um, Noopur is a YouTuber or a social media content creator. I believe she has an Instagram, but I watch her on YouTube mainly. I actually just recently started watching her, maybe about 2 months ago. So she's very new to me, but I love her videos. She's very detailed. Her looks are beautiful, and she just explains things so well. Um, and very recently, I believe at the end of August, she released a collaboration eyeshadow palette with Bella Beaute Bar Cosmetics. They are an indie brand. I don't know very much about Bella Beaute Bar, but yeah, I was just very excited when I watched her video about this palette. She just seemed so happy and excited. It just felt very like sweet and like really meaningful. It just felt different, and I was like, I want this palette first off because the colors were so beautiful. I'm not super familiar with indie eyeshadows. I mean, I've owned palette from Kaleidos, and I own a palette from Fantasy Cosmetica, but I'm not familiar with like the super duochrome type of shadows or anything like that, so I'm not in the know. So I just opened the box. I actually received this um, the other day. Let's see. So I placed the order on the release date, which was August 29th, is when the palette dropped. Um, let's see. I paid, so the palette retails for $69. And then you can use a discount code. I use Noopur's discount code. That took $6.90 off. And then with shipping, my total came to be $71.91. Yeah, so August 29th is when I placed the order. It was shipped out September 2nd. And then on September 5th is when it was delivered to me. Now, I will say, based on Bella Beaute Bar's location, they're very close to the state that I live in, so that's probably why I received it pretty fast. But either way, it was very quick shipping time. I'm a very, very patient person, so I literally don't care when I receive the item as long as I receive it. But yeah, so here's the palette. There's a fragile label, and then inside there's the little like popcorn guys, and have this from Bella Beaute Bar. It says thank you for your support, and then on the back, it has their social media stuff, and it says important note: those little white discs covering the shimmers in your palette are there to protect them during transit. You can pop them right off and discard them. They are also Leaping Bunny certified, cruelty-free, vegan, and paraben-free. So that's a cute note. I appreciate that. That was really nice. Again, I've never purchased from Bella Beaute Bar, so I actually don't think they're called Bella Beaute Bar Cosmetics. I think they're just called Bella Beaute Bar, which is fine. It's a learning process here. Okay, and then let's make sure there's nothing else. This is how the palette came wrapped. Okay, so once I unwrapped it from the first set of bubble wrap it came in, it's with another bubble wrap, so it's well secured, well layered, which is awesome. And then it's kind of just a bubble wrap sleeve, so take that off and ta-da! There's the palette. It's beautiful, actually. Let's see. So this is the front of it. It's actually just the sleeve. So the sleeve will come out like this, but it's just the sleeve right now. That's what the palette looks like. It's actually a lot prettier in person. Because, like, sometimes the camera angles and the quality and the pictures and stuff, they don't, like, do it justice, but it's actually very beautiful in person. I love the iridescent look. I don't know if I'm saying any of that right, but like, it's just like the way the palette moves in the light. So it's called Coalescence. And then there are the 4 elements. Now, I don't want to reiterate what Noopur said in her video. I will definitely try my best to link it. But then at the bottom, it says bellabeautebar Noopur. And this is the back of the sleeve. Let's see. It says coalescence, noun, the joining or merging of elements to form one mass or whole. It is a pressed pigment palette for face and eyes, and bellabeautebar is based in Florida. So it's very close to me. And then it just talks about the eyeshadow ingredients and then the pressed pigment ingredients. So some of the shades in here are just typical eyeshadow formulas, and then some of them are pressed pigment ingredients. So the ones that are just the typical eyeshadow formula are Boomy, Agni, Sprout, Vayu, Dissonance, Decay, Fauna, and Chaos. And then the pressed pigment ingredients, the shadows that use the pressed pigments are Jal, Balance, Dawn, Aries, Flora, Dusk, Harmony, and Libra. This palette was made in the PRC. Again, it's vegan, paraben-free, and cruelty-free, and it has a 24-month shelf life. The net weight is 303 grams. Don't know what that translates to in ounces. So, all right, and this is what the top of it looks like. It's very beautiful. Okay, and then I'm going to take the sleeve off. And again, it's the same thing as the sleeve. It's just the palette itself. The spine has the name of the palette. And then this is the back with the same exact writing and everything. It's a very beautiful palette. Okay. Ooh. Comes with a sleeve. Old plastic sleeve to cover. This palette is a lot prettier than I was expecting. Like, it looked beautiful online. Trust me, it looked beautiful in Noopur's video and all of the other videos I've watched. But in person, it's stunning. Like, I'm at a loss for words, honestly. So, it has a mirror. And then with the mirror, it has... Oops, I just saw all of that. With the mirror, it has the 4 elements on the corners. It's very iridescent on the inside. And when they were talking about, when the little card was talking about the white discs, I'll show you what it looks like. So when you get the palette, that's what it comes like. One of the white discs fell out, but I think that's really sweet touch because it protects the really probably more like soft shadows and a lot more of the ones that'll probably break easily. So that's a nice touch. But this is what the palette looks like. I will take the discs off now. Okay, so the discs, they're not foam. They feel more of like a hard plastic, which is great. I mean, I feel like this would protect better for like really fragile things compared to foam, but it was really easy for me to take out. I mean, I just have long nails. That's about it. And then this is what the palette looks like. Oh goodness. Sorry guys. I might have to take a photo of it and insert a photo, but those are the shades. It is a 16 pan palette. It's stunning. This palette is really Noopur's like ideal perfect eyeshadow palette. I mean, there's probably one shade in here, I'm recalling from her video, but there's probably one shade in here where she was like, oh, it could have been different, but this is still like her ideal palette. Like, it's all the shades she loves and all of the tones that she loves. It's stunning. And then on the mirror, it says bellabeautebar in Noopur. So that's awesome. Now we're going to do an eyeshadow look with this palette. It's a lot of purples and a maroon, and then there's a lot of greens as well. So it's kind of split up half and half. So the top is like the more warmer toned or like pinkier purple shades, and then the bottom half is more like of the murky tones, the cool tones, the greens. So I think that's nice. I love the palette setup. It's really easy to kind of understand and like do it in quads if you want to make an eyeshadow look that way, or do it in just duos. Oh, and then the eyeshadow palettes, they have this little divot here that you can pop and like create your own, or like mix and match, or do whatever you want. So I thought that's a good touch. Alrighty, let's see. The mirror is really pretty. It's really big and nice, so I like that. So to start, I am going to prime my eyelids. I do prime my eyes for eyeshadow, but I think I want to try something different today. I'm going to use one. I'm going to put on one eyelid the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. This is the eyeshadow primer I typically use. So and then I'll just blend it out with my finger. And then for my other eye, I will put on a much more thinner concealer. I don't always use concealer as a primer, but there are days where if I'm not wearing eyeshadow, or if I like am too much in a hurry to add eyeshadow primer as another step, I will just like prime my eyes with whatever concealer I use. So I'm going to use the NARS one to prime my other eye. Now this might result in like 2 different tones or colors, but it's okay. I'm not doing anything today. I have the day off from work, so I really wanted to get this eyeshadow palette. I was going to open it when I got it and then film a video, but you guys, life has just been life lately, you know? It's like everything just kind of hits you at once, which I've been saying that a lot lately, but truly, when you think things are okay, they're not. So on this side, I have the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. On this side, I have the NARS Creamy Radiant Cream Concealer. Okay. And then I will say, I don't normally set my eyeshadow primer. I kind of just let it be there, and then I apply my eyeshadow. So a lot of my eyeshadow brushes are dirty, so I will do my best to rub it off so you can get a clearer view of what the eyeshadow looks like itself. I don't know what I want to do today. The purples purple is one of my favorite colors, and green is also one of my favorite colors, so it's like 2 of my favorite colors. I think I want to do a more like neutrally purple look. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. I will say a lot of these shades are much more mid-toned, so I feel like if you have a lighter skin tone, definitely use a lighter hand, and you might have to pull in another palette or product as a brightener, which is something I'm probably going to have to do, which I'm fine by because this allows me to use more of my products up, So I think the first shade I'm going to go in with is Boomy, the neutrally matte brown. It's definitely like a slightly cool toned brown, and then I believe Boomy is like a typical eyeshadow formula. So let's see. I'm gonna have to rub it off on my hand. I always forget a rag, you guys. Just just me. Okay, I'm gonna put my, probably gonna try to use the palette's mirror instead, just so it's easier for me. Okay, then I'm just gonna take a pretty fluffy brush, I guess. I don't really know. It's an e.l.f. brush. It's their e.l.f. blending brush. I have so many of these. This is one of my favorite brushes to apply eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm taking the shade Boomy. And then I'm gonna apply it. Again, I've never used bellabeautebar's formulas, so I'm not familiar. But I just dip back in. I'm really going like lighter handed because I'm not sure how to work with this brand's formula. So I just want to be very, very mindful. Shadow, the matte shadow blended out really beautifully. Uh, it's a beautiful toned. It's actually a very cool toned shade, at least on my skin tone. I feel like I have a very warm complexion, so now I'm gonna go onto the eyeshadow or onto the eyelid that has the NARS concealer and see if there will be a difference. Dipping back in. It builds up very beautifully, I will say. So typically I like to pack on the eyeshadow first and then I'll blend once I'm done packing. Just to ensure like a smoother blend. Um, at least that's what I do from my experiences with makeup and dealing with eyeshadow formulas in general. Yeah, that's really beautiful. I don't know if you can see it very well. Probably not, but is it blended out? Yeah, it's more of like a cool toned mauve type of brown. I really like that. I feel like it has like some gray in it, but also some like really pretty cool toned purple. This is a beautiful shade. Now, I don't have this eyeshadow palette anymore, but Kaleidos, a long time ago, released a palette with Angelica Nyqvist. She's another creator here on YouTube, and one of the shadows in there was like this really beautiful mauve. Well, there were like two shadows that had this like mauve undertone, like a cool toned mauve, and it kind of reminds me of that. Sometimes I'm upset that I decluttered that palette. I'm like, why did I do that? It was so beautiful. All right. So there's that blended. It really didn't take much effort at all. Make it look good and smoky. Yeah. It blended out very beautifully on both sides. Um, I'm not seeing a big difference in terms of which primer I use, whether it's a concealer primer or an actual eyeshadow primer. Okay, so that's the shade Boomy in my crease and on my outer V there. Okay, let's see what I want to do next. I feel like I really want to go in with Aries. Now, Aries, let's see. So, Aries is a pressed pigment. And Aries is the shade here. It's a very like burgundy matte. It's not plum, it's definitely burgundy. So I'm gonna take a smaller brush This is the e.l.f. Detailed Crease Brush. It's basically the blending brush, but on a smaller scale. Yeah, you can kind of tell. It's very smaller, much smaller, and just, detailed brush. Um, so I remove my previous pigment. Okay, so Aries, yeah. Aries is that really beautiful burgundy. I want to say I love burgundy eyeshadows, but I don't own very many burgundy eyeshadows, so just see how it looks. Now, I normally do, like, when I dip into an eyeshadow pan, I do, like, tap off the excess. I will say Boomy didn't have much of a, like, kick up in the pan. Like, there's not a lot of, like, powder residue coming up in the pan, but with Aries there is, and obviously it could be because it is a pressed pigment, while Boomy is a typical eyeshadow formula. Okay, so I'm still not gonna tap it off. I just kind of want to see it's playing today. Yeah, that's a very deep shade. I'm just gonna use a little. Wow, that's beautiful. Blend it out so easily. Wow, this is exciting. Now, this is just my first impression, so I'm probably going to film more videos of me wearing this eyeshadow palette and trying it and testing out with different brushes and or different like bases. So one day I'll probably do no eyeshadow base, just like kind of nothing on my eyelid except my skincare, and see how that looks. This got deep really fast. I don't know why I'm surprised when I said I know that this palette is more mid-tone to deep, but and I like that look. So that is the shade Aries. It is stunning. Okay, let's go on to the other side. The shade really blends. Like, you can blend it forever. You can blend it further in, and it'll, like, the shadow will literally blend further in. I guess what I mean to say is, like, it goes far, if that makes sense. But I'm trying to keep it concentrated out here in the outer corner. Oh, it's such a beautiful shade. Now, I will say, to me, it looks like a burgundy in the pan. Oops. It looks like a burgundy in the pan, right? I don't know if you can see it very well. But when I put it on my eyes, the burgundy is like a fuchsia. I think that's pretty cool. Obviously, it could have to do with my undertone and my skin tone in general, but nonetheless, it is still a beautiful shade. Or maybe because I haven't played with a burgundy eyeshadow in like so many years that I don't know what a burgundy looks like on me anymore. But that is the shade Aries in Boomy. I'm probably going to go back in with Boomy just to offer more of a seamless blend. Not that it isn't blending seamlessly, they are, but I want the shade Boomy to come back. Okay, yes. I think that was a nice touch because Aries was so pigmented and bright. That once I added Boomy, it kind of really toned down the fuchsia-ness and the burgundy pigment, or like just the brightness of the shade. It really toned it down and brought it to a tone that I really like. So that's awesome. Let's see. Now what do I want to do? I think I'm ready to go with a shimmer shade. This is exciting. Okay, so let's see. Ooh. Let's see. The shimmer. Sorry guys, I don't know how to operate anything. What shade should I go for? They're all so beautiful. I don't think I want to go in with Harmony right now. I don't think so. No Harmony. I think Agni might be a good one. So some of the shades in here are typical shimmer formulas where there isn't like a duochrome to it, and a lot of them in here are like a duochrome or a multichrome. I guess what that means is like it has, depending on how you turn your eyes and your face, like the light reflects different pigment particles, and that is why it is considered a duochrome or a multichrome. I think, I don't know, guys. I'm not super versed in. So yeah, I think I want to go in with Agni. It definitely is a duochrome or multichrome because when I'm looking at it from like a side angle, it's grainy, green shifted. But then when I look at it straight on, it's like a reddish shift. So I think that's super stunning. The shade Balance is also really pretty. I'm very intrigued by that shade. Um, and Flora. Flora is like a typical shimmer or satiny shade. I think there's only like 2 shimmer slash satin shades. Now, I can't recall from her video very well, but she does do this thing called Shade Cascade. I believe she's the one that coined it. But Shade Cascade is where you basically um, layer shades on top of each other, whether it's mattes or shimmers, but basically layering it offers you like a whole new eyeshadow, essentially. So I think I want to do that today. I'm not super familiar with her shade cascade work, but I do know she does it in her YouTube videos. So let's just honor her and do it. Okay, so with shimmers, I typically use my finger, so that's what I'm gonna do. I think for my base, I want to go with Flora. Yeah, so Flora is going to be my base, and then I will apply Agony on top of Flora. Flora is the more like typical shimmer formula that we see everywhere, and then Agony is that multichrome or duochrome. That's what I'm going to apply on top of Flora. Flora is like a beautiful rosy champagne in my opinion. Don't worry, guys. I'll list everything for her palette and like link bellabeautebar's website because I'm not the best at describing shades. Okay, so I'm gonna take my finger and go in with Flora. This is what Flora looks like. Very pretty. Yeah, it has like a pinky tone to it. Okay, let's see. Oh, I love shimmers. That is beautiful. I don't see any type of like shift happening. I believe this is just a standard shimmer formula. So taking it again and applying it to this eye. Wow. If this is their standard shimmer formula from bellabeautebar, it's stunning. Oh, I love it. Looks good. Okay. Now I gotta just wipe it on my finger. It's beautiful. Okay. Now I'm gonna go in with Acne. Oops. I'm gonna go in with Acne here. This one definitely has a shift to it, so I'm kind of excited to see what it'll look like on my finger. Let's see. Wow, it's so cool. Okay, it's probably not gonna pick up on the camera, but do you see what I mean? Like when you move your finger around or your face around in your eyes, like it shifts. There's a shift to it. Oh, I wish I could show you. But it's like green based or red based. And then the sparkles probably are different. Multichrome. Yeah. The sparkles are like green to blue. There's so many. There's just so many, you guys. Like I can't even describe it. So this one definitely has to be multichrome. Okay. So this is the shade Agni. Okay, I'm so excited. I have tried Shade Cascade recently whenever she dropped her video on her eyeshadow palette. I was like, I don't know that I've ever done Shade Cascade, but I did it with the Fantasy Cosmetica eyeshadow palette that I have in collaboration with Makeup Just for Fun, Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun. And I thought that was so good. I was like, dude, I should do this more often. It's really getting me excited going back in my eyeshadows. Okay. So my camera isn't picking it up at all on my eye, but it's definitely there. And I definitely saw something happen. It's on there for sure. And I can see all the little multi-chromes. This is fun, guys. I love this. It's so cool. Okay. Taking it on the other eye. I want you to see it, but I don't know. It just feels like it looks like lava, like molten lava. I think that's so cool. I don't even know if you can see anything with my what is this called? My quality. But it's okay. I'm just going back in and putting more of Acne each time. Because it's a pretty shade. Yeah. Oh, maybe you can see it better if I hold the thing like this. Or maybe it's doing nothing at all. Well, okay, that's it. So that's the shade. Oh, some of this residue is from Flora. And then I'll just go ahead and do the residue from Acne. I don't even think you can see it. Okay, so that is Acne and Flora. Flora is the base, and this is Acne on top. I'm definitely going to play with this palette a lot more to show you different looks. Like, oh, you know what I should have done? I did do it. Never mind. Okay, I'm gonna go back in with Boomy because like there's this kind of a stark contrast here. I think I just want to take Boomy and kind of like blend it softly. So that way there's not like a stark contrast here. I don't know if it'll do anything, but we'll see. Other side. Yeah, these shades are so pretty. Like in person, I am just mesmerized by what it's doing. It's so cool. Okay. So, I mean, that's as blended as I want to get it. I am going to just go back in and blend everything out at the edges. I think that's all I want to do. Flora is slightly too deep to go in my inner corner, which is fine. So this is what my eyeshadow look is looking like right now. I'll probably take a photo and insert it so that you can see its beauty. It's beauty. Okay. I'm taking the detailed eyeshadow brush that I was using that has probably some leftover areas and just adding it back in case I lost some of Aries. It's always a back and forth type of thing with eyeshadow. Okay, I'm gonna pop off and go do the rest of my face and everything, and then we will talk about my opinion so far, just my first impression. Hey guys, okay, I'm back. I did my makeup. So apologies for the stark contrast in the change in lighting. I know it was very abrupt, but I wanted to turn off the light and leave my ring light on so you can see the sparkle. But I do know my laptop quality isn't the best. So I'm gonna see if my phone camera will help it at all. Okay. Or my phone's flashlight. You can see the sparkle, right? It's doing something. It's so pretty. Okay. I am just going to add a little bit more of the multi-chrome Ugni. I realized I think I've been saying it as Agni, but I think it's Ugni if I remember from her video, from Noopur's video correctly. So, okay. I'm gonna go ahead back in with Agni right there, that shade. Maybe you can see the duochrome reflect better if I just do it like that. Maybe not. Whatever. Okay. Going back in with Agni on my finger. Okay. And then I'm gonna go and tap it on top. I'm hoping you saw the change on camera because I've definitely added loads more of that shadow. Okay. Compared to this side, I mean, it's still both very sparkly, but okay. Going in with my finger again, Agni, and then going to put it on my eye. It's so pretty. I see why people do this type of eyeshadow look in like ring light, studio light, with the little, when people do it so cool on the internet. Okay, so that was Agni. Now, I didn't put anything on my inner corners, but I kind of want to. So I might go in with Balance just for fun. So Balance is this duochrome here. I don't know. You can see the shift happening. It's either duochrome or multichrome, but either way. Okay, taking it on my pinky. That is Balance. It's definitely a brighter shade, and it has more of a blue reflect with maybe like a warm tone base. So I'm gonna apply it in my inner corner here. I don't know if you can see. Oh, that's so cool, guys. That's so exciting. Looks a little crazy in person, but I think it looks so cool. Okay. Going in, tapping in a little, putting it on my other eye. It's so pretty. Wow. Okay. Wow. It looks crazy, doesn't it? It's okay, guys. This is all for fun. It's for the fun and for the love. So, it looks crazy. Oh my god, I kind of look cool. I like it. It's cool. Okay. Now, just to tone it down a little, I know it's just the lighting as well. I am going to go in and blend it with an EcoTools brush and just tone it down a little bit. I think I went a little too hard with the pigment, but I don't know if it's even getting toned down, but that's okay. Alright, so that is that. Let me grab my phone one more time and maybe try to show you. Okay, so this is the Agni shade Built Up, right? Agni Built Up, Balance on the inner corner. That is such a strong like shift and juxtaposition. I think that's so cool. That is that. Yeah, that is some crazy looks, but I love it. It's so cool. Okay, I'm gonna go turn on the light. So I'm back. This is what my full look is look like with my face done. I did not get a photo with this because I just applied it, but I did take photos and videos of my look with the makeup on and everything. So I'll probably insert those. But before we do, I'm gonna just let you know what I have on my face because I think it all kind of works so well together. So I'm wearing my NYX Wonder Stick in the shade Light Medium. I use the contour and the highlight side to kind of like warm up my skin and give it dimension. And then for blush, I used my Nude Sticks Nudies Matte All Over Face Blush Color in the shade Naughty in Spice or Naughty in Spice. Okay. And then for my eyebrows, I used my NYX my NYX brow, my NYX Powder Louder Brow Pencil. This is the shade Black, I'm pretty sure. And then I used my Sephora Tintin Volume Brow Gel, also in the shade Black. Oh, I can't talk. And then for my lip combo, it's always so hard for me to match my lip and my eye look together, but I think I did it successfully today. I'm wearing my e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liner. This one is in the shade Spill the Tea. And then because we went for like a more purpley look, I decided to go with my Fantasy Cosmetica and Makeup Just for Fun lip balm, tinted lip balm. This is in the shade, I kind of forgot the shade isn't on the packaging. but it was the purple one that she released. It's really pretty though. I love the combo. Okay, so now that all of that is out of the way, let's talk about my first impression thoughts on the Coalescence palette in collaboration with Noopur and bellabeautebar. Okay, so this is the 16 pan palette, and this is based on Noopur's vision. Like it's truly to signify her thoughts on beauty, her thoughts on color, the vision, like what exactly she wanted to put out there in the world. Um, and I think it's stunning. I will say, though the shades lean warm and cool, a lot of the mattes seem to lean pretty neutral to cool to me. I mean, I know I've only used like two mattes today and so far, but I can imagine that a lot of the looks I will make will probably lean a lot more neutral to cool. Like today, the look looks warm, and I will say it does lean pretty warm. So she really knew how to balance it, and I think that's a great thing to have in an eyeshadow palette. Um, I can't wait to start dipping into the greens, and a lot more of like the pinks. I kind of am excited about the pink, but overall, so far as my first impressions, this palette was so exciting to use. I felt so inspired. Like, I think it's so fun. I was really excited. It just brought a lot of energy, a lot of good energy, and I think that's awesome. Of course, I will link Noopur's video and her YouTube channel below. I will probably try and link Bella Beaute Bar's website just so you can see. And if you choose to purchase this palette, please use Noopur's code. I'm not really sure the percentage off it gets you, but I got $6.90 off. Yeah, but so far, I think this is an awesome palette. I'm getting even more excited to use it. Like, these duochromes and multichromes are insane, and I think it's going to be so much fun at using it. I really think she nailed the color story and what she set out to do. She wanted to mix warm tones and cool tones, and the shade names are also opposites of each other. She mentions that in her video. But yeah, I think it is just such a really great palette. Like, she really knew what she wanted, and she did it well. And I love it. I will say, when I took photos of my eye look, I did notice that Aries had some fallout on my face, but only on the side that had the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. On the side that had the has the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, I didn't notice much fallout. So I will say, if you want to use pressed pigments in general, I think it's just like a generalization. If you use pressed pigments, to probably use an eyeshadow base, like a proper eyeshadow primer, instead of a concealer, unless you know of a good concealer, and that'll work well under pressed pigments. But I think this is just such a great palette. She did wonderful. I'm so happy for her, as I am with like any creator who gets to put their vision out there. And yeah, look forward to more videos on the Noopur Coalescence palette with Bella Beaute Bar.